African-American national newspaper.
What is this? What am I looking at? What is Turtle Gang looking at? What's going on? Right? What are these? What are these? Let's look at the date on here. What's that date say? 1937. Wow. What is this? What are these? What are these? What are these? What are these? What is this? What is this? What this is what happens when you actually do serious research and genealogy. This is what happens when you do actual genealogy and you know actual history. What is this? What is this I'm looking at? Because this is where I get my information from. My historical information. So I'll tell you what this is. This is actual copies, right, that have been laminated of the Echo Press. This particular page right here is from 1937. And as you'll see, death in VA, right? So this is a black-owned newspaper, right? Newspaper owned by people of color. This newspaper was started in the late 1800s, 1890, I believe, in Long Branch, New Jersey, right? The Echo Press. It covered news from all over the country, and it was a black newspaper. So when people sit up here and tell you everything we get from the white man, you can't trust your sources, because y'all don't know where the real sources are, because all you are is a pawn of the white man. So when you want to learn something, you know nothing more than to go to his sources. But what y'all don't realize is there were people of color who were thriving here long before whatever history you've been retaught, or these people are trying to teach you. You don't know history. Can't none of these people show you anything to suggest otherwise. So when these people tell you, oh, we just, everybody, because bro, just, and I'm not trying to disparage you, bro, Pharaoh, whoever, Pharaoh, you some type of Pharaoh, right? That's misinformation. So let me just say this. People try to imply that everyone gets their information from white people and everybody else, and Negroes, people of color, indigenous people, whatever, did nothing for themselves to record their own history. Well, I'm telling you, the people that are saying that to you are absolute fools. Absolute fools. Absolute fools. So, let's see if I can get some closed caption. I'll repost it. I'll repost the video. So, this newspaper here is called the Echo Press. Echo Press was a newspaper started by William Elijah Rock. William Elijah Rock had 2 sons and a daughter. One of his sons' name is Leroy Rock. So William Elijah started this company, this newspaper. His son, Leroy's brother, Arnold, took on the mantle of running the newspaper. Leroy Rock is my grandfather. Arnold Rock is his brother, my uncle. This actual printing, the print shop where this newspaper was printed, I literally spent days in there with my uncle before he lost his life. And that's a whole nother story. So all these people out here talking about we didn't have our own and we believe in things from everybody else. No, there's those of us who had our history, knew our history, and always knew our history. We're not separated from it. Continuous. And we showing proof from it. This is the Echo Press, a black-owned newspaper out of New Jersey. Started in Long Branch and it settled in Red Bank, New Jersey, which is where my family is from. This is my family's newspaper, and it covered news all over the Americas, not just Red Bank. So if someone will sit up here and try to say, oh yeah, you just had a little local newspaper. No, we did not. This newspaper covered everything. You see that? VA, right? VA. You see that? Now, let me give you a little backstory on the newspaper. The newspaper is called the Echo Press. Echo. Why is it called the Echo Press? It's called the Echo Press because it's named after William's mother, who was a full-blooded Lenape woman. And Echo is the translation of her name. That's the English translation of her name. So here we have a black-owned newspaper, a newspaper produced by people of color who are of Lenape and African ancestry. And we're telling our stories and keeping records of our history. Genealogy, we had our genealogy since the 1600s and have just had to add on to it since. Going all the way back to Abraham Rock, who was William's great-great-grandfather. William comes from Peter, Peter comes from Peter, and Peter comes from William. So I know people want to keep hitting you with these scare tactics and we can't believe and everybody's putting out misinformation. No, everybody is not putting out misinformation. There are people out here who are actually connected to actual historic truths. And we share them with you. And what happens is people who have no proof otherwise just start up there and start to chip away and say, well, what if this and how about that? But they have no facts. They just have questions. I don't have to question nothing because I have the actual facts. I have the artifacts. Like, I know people of color think that we don't have our own shit, but we do. We got our own history. We have our own artifacts. We have our own everything. Now, I know a lot of y'all would like to talk shit to me, but let me say you something. 1937, that shit is older than everybody on this thread. Anybody watching this video, that piece of paper is older than you. Meaning, everything that was printed on here, all this news, all this stuff is news that was produced, prepared by people of color, for people of color. No white man had his hand in any of this. So people keep telling you that we just some type of ignorant people that didn't have no history and we gotta believe everything the white man. No, you gotta believe everything the white man say, because you probably came from a community that was denied the right to record its own history. But guess what? Every community ain't go for that shit. Every community did not sit back and allow people to fucking push us around. There are communities out here that stood on their own. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. I could show y'all better than I can tell y'all. I don't know what these people are showing y'all to validate what they're saying. They're telling you that white people lie to you, and then they're using white people's information to validate that white people lied to you. I don't have to go to the white people and ask them for no information. When I go to them and I go to their records, I go to see if what they say matches up with what we say, because we got our own records. So it is what it is. I get it. Y'all want to continue to play the victim and act like, you know, everybody was greater than you and did more greater things, and Europeans had this and they